Hello, and welcome back to the Big Red F. This is the first full day of Ice Storm 2026. I'm going to call it that instead of Snowmageddon, though Snowmageddon, I don't know, sounds nicer. We don't have any snow. We've got, it basically drizzled, light rained all day yesterday, being Friday, but it was in the 50s. I did not drip the faucets before I went to bed, but when I woke up, it was right above freezing. I think it was like 34, 35 degrees, and I knew it was supposed to get colder during the course of the day. So I did go out first thing when I woke up, probably around like 6 a.m. Went out and started dripping the faucets. I've got some video of that. What I did notice was on the ground itself, didn't seem frozen, seemed a little sloshy because of the rain. I didn't get a shot of it, but the ground had not had a chance to absorb all the water, so I actually had like a tiny little pond for an hour or two before the water actually was able to drain. That's a big issue here in Texas in general with flash flooding, because the topsoil here typically is somewhat clay-like. There's not a ton of it. So what does absorb into the ground starts to just run off because the ground can't absorb as much of it as whereas up north where we are, our soil is very sandy, like super sandy. And so the water tends to go right through the topsoil, which usually leads to more of a drought issue just because unless we get regular rain, the soil I feel like doesn't hold on to the moisture as well. Anyway, that aside, we're dealing with an ice storm. So I went out and I dripped stuff. As I noticed, as I went to walk around the house too, there's 4 different faucets, one over in the front by the air conditioner, one by the front door, one on this side of the house on the towards the backyard, and then there's one on the very back of the house. So I had just finished doing the one that's on the side of the house on this side, on the right side as you look at the house, and I was getting ready to walk around to the one in the back of the house. And I noticed as I went to step up onto the deck, stairs were a little icy, so I decided to walk around in the grass. But it makes sense because the wind chill here at that time was below freezing, and the deck is up off the ground, so it doesn't have any of that trapped heat of the ground. And that's why that was icy, whereas the ground itself was not. I checked the faucets a couple more times today, and a couple of the faucets I had to adjust again to try to get. You don't want a constant stream, but you don't want the dripping to stop. You want sort of a steady drip so that basically the pipes don't freeze. I've had a steady drip going here inside the house the entire day. I did try to fill one of the bathtubs with water, and I got some video of me filling buckets instead because I know that tub, when you pop the, it's got an old, lever switch for, because it's a tub shower combo. So it's got the standard kind of lever switch. I know when it's popped up, water will accumulate, but I guess after a couple hours, that water will also just drain out. So that is not conducive for trying to store water in it long term. So I got a couple of buckets out of the garage, and so I've got some utility water. I've got the water I bought. That's obviously for flushing toilets or whatnot. Then I've got the water I bought for drinking, but I also decided since I have a bunch of mason jars, I've just filled some of those up with tap water and put them in the fridge. So I did that as well. Like I said, I've checked the faucets periodically throughout the day. I've kept this thermostat here closer to like 72, 73, just because the outer exterior parts of the house, since the thermometer is centrally located, that's always going to be warmer than the exterior portions of the house. And then, so I went to a movie. Alamo Draft House is down here. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm not going to get to do it very much longer because there's not one up north, and there was one briefly in Kalamazoo, but there's not one anywhere in the state of Michigan now. Hopefully another one comes back to the state of Michigan, but regardless, I like to go to the one here at Lakeline, as it's roughly 10 minutes from the house. I figured I would take a look outside, see how bad the road was, and if it was at all like icy, then I wasn't going to go. It was not icy at all outside. As a matter of fact, at the time it had stopped drizzling altogether. It didn't start drizzling again until right as I went to park, basically, as I was pulling into the parking lot. And so I honestly didn't even think anything else about it because it had been all the previous day 55 degrees, and so I wasn't thinking about it. When I got out of the movie, yeah, I had ice on my car. I don't think I got any pictures of the ice, but I did have to use my baby ice scraper that I've kept in my car for the very few rare occurrences that there's ice on my car here, which I've had to use it maybe. So yes, I've had to use the ice scraper maybe 4 times in 28 years. Uh, yeah, and before this ice storm is done, I'll probably have to use it again. But since that car is going to be relocated to the north, probably won't use the baby ice scraper. I will probably get myself a full-size ice scraper that also has a brush. You don't really need the brush down here. You just need to scrape the ice off. I was glad that I had the ice scraper that has the teeth on it, because you've got the one side that's for trying to get all the stuff off the windshield itself, but then you have the one with the sort of the knuckle teeth, and that helps you actually get through some ice. As the ice on the back window and then the driver's side windows was insanely thick and wouldn't just come off with the scrapey part. Anyway, that meant that I was prepared for the drive home to be terrible, because they don't do salt here. If you're lucky, they might put some sand down, but thankfully the roads themselves were still very, well, not very, but they were warm enough to be above freezing, not to cause any ice. Plus, it looked like they had absorbed whatever moisture had fallen, because the road didn't even look that slick. It looked a little slick in certain areas, but for the most part, it looked dry and it wasn't icy. I get all the way home. I check the faucets. One of them, two of them needed some adjustment again, so I got those back to a steady drip. Hopefully they stay that way overnight. I'll check them again before I go to bed. And then I did run the shower in the primary bathroom here. I'll probably take a shower here in a little bit, but I did run the shower briefly just to get some water flowing through it. But as I was going to check some stuff out in my office, I almost ate it. By which I mean I've got the outside of my wooden steps that go into my office, I've got like a little landing that is just patio brick. Yeah, those are completely iced over. And then I almost ate it. I was on the phone with my wife, and I was like, "Oh, almost died," which is an exaggeration, but I definitely almost slipped because I was not expecting it to be slick at all. And that's one thing. Growing up north, spending a lot of time up north, even further up north. By up north, I mean actual up north, not just Michigan itself. You know how to walk on ice when you're expecting ice. When you're not expecting it, it always gets you, because your foot starts to slide and you weren't expecting it. Well, it happened to me twice, and the second time I'm like, "You idiot, you should have known that was going to happen." Anyway, I didn't eat it, and I was able to get into my office and get a couple of things out. Tomorrow, I'm going to actually try and get the desk out, and then that'll be the last of the furniture in my office. And then it'll just be a couple of odds and ends that I'll need to remove. If I get the desk out, that'll be the last of the furniture. We'll see, depending upon how bad the ice weather is, because since it is bigger, I'm going to have to use the dolly and whatnot. If it's actively sleeting or whatnot, I won't bother until it gets clear and sunny. But I believe tomorrow afternoon it's supposed to turn sunny and just be freezing, which will be better than sleeting and freezing. I'll put the desk up for sale in its disassembled state. If I don't get any bites in, say, a couple of hours, I will reassemble the desk and then I'll just use it in the house until somebody tries to buy it from me. Just because when it comes to actually working while I'm having to be here, I really like having 2 monitors. The monitors and whatnot are what I actually brought inside. Anyway, so I'll post the video that I took of doing the drip into the faucets and all here after this. It's really difficult to get these dripping just right. Everything's cold and wet, but it's frozen yet. I don't want I'll try and turn that one down just a little. Walk around the side of the house. There was quite a puddle of water out here earlier. See if it's still there. Looks like it finally drained, but it was all right there along the bricks. This one is still got a drip going, so that's good. And there's one more outside faucet. Oh, that was a little slick. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of ice on the deck. Good to know. That one's still dripping too, so I think we're good there. So, watch myself up here on the deck. Let's see. Starting to form some ice because of the wind chill. It is very cold, particularly by Texas standards. Got the cabinets open to help keep the pipes. It's really hard to just barely drip these. You don't want to waste too much water, but you don't want it to break. So, and then because of the way this one works, it's impossible to just drip it. Even if you just turn it on a little bit, you basically you almost get full stream. It takes a minute, but I ran it a little bit earlier. So yeah, that sucks. I filled the tub with water, and I mean, it held it for a bit, but that was a couple hours ago. I filled it for utility water purposes, and it has all drained. I know from taking a shower in there that if the thing is up, it will fill with water, but apparently it does not. It's not a good seal. So I'm gonna get some buckets. This is just for flushing toilets, and I'm just going to fill some bucket-like objects that I have around the house. So I've got these two waste bins, and so this will be, I have to flush the guest room toilet, and I've got two for the master bathroom toilet as well. And then I filled some of these mason jars with drinking water and put them in the fridge just to have them. I also have 5 gallons of bottled drinking water as well, but I just wanted Figured I have the jars, I might as well fill them for drinking purposes. I'm not a big drinker, but I do enjoy a tequila. I had originally wanted a particular brand that I had up north, but I can't find it at any of the big box shops here in town. So they were giving a tasting of this one. It's a really good reposado for like $35. So I went ahead and grabbed it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.